Hello, and welcome back to Downtime Activities, and welcome back to Skygate, our 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons campaign that takes place almost entirely underground, and currently deep, dark underground, where the characters are on the precipice of deeper, darker underground. Last time...
I feel like once you're in the deep, dark underground, it's all
deep, dark underground, all the way down.
Is it the Underdark or the Underdarker? Ooh. That's the real question.
It's the Underer Darker.
Yeah.
The denizens of the Underdark fear only one thing. The denizens
the
of
Underer Darker. That's where the Gloomstalkerers are.
and the Drowerers.
The Drowers?
Drawers?
Anyway.
Settle on that hard R there, Jerry.
Okay. You can't use that word.
Yeah, only we could use that word.
The party went to a abandoned ruin field, or seemingly abandoned ruin field, on a map that Candle had access to for some reason. And in that field found some treasure and the signs of a previous, vomits to the corners. A previous expedition force here that seems to have turned up missing. Kind of tracking down the signs of that, going from one large building, a temple, to a larger keep in this strange ruin field that was seemingly a city collapsed from the surface into the Underdark some many, many years ago. In this fortress, while searching around, you were assaulted by a strange and shadowy figure who is maybe somewhat similar to your personal ranger Candle in his ability suite, and you were peppered with crossbow bolts from afar. Having kind of exposed that character using a powerful daylight spell from the cleric, it revealed it to be a humanoid. Only one of you got an okay look. I believe Candle, you kind of were able to teleport up near him and got a decent look. Or not Candle, excuse me, Axel was able to teleport up to him.
Item.
I don't know why your names, it's the item names that trip me up. And got a view, you kind of could tell that it was human. He was human or human adjacent of some sort, and had a kind of strange sort of growth crawling up his face, eyes very dark and kind of glossed over. But he sort of fell into a section of moldy root and vine growing along the side of this, and was sort of like pulled through it, and you saw others heard/saw him descending into the darker, the under darker in the bottom of this keep. And that's where we left off. The party's a little beat up. Some of you have taken some damage, and you guys definitely threw some resources at him, but currently are hot on his trail.
Well, into the Underdarker.
Yeah, so we can't move daylight, I don't think. I think it's just attached to the point. So, how many third level spell slots do you have left? Use at least one. Two left? Okay. We've got 2 more daylights, just in case.
Oh, did you get 3 at 6th level?
I think you get, because you start with 2, don't you? When you hit 5th level and you get a 3rd at 6th? Or is it 1 and then...
I think that's what happened.
I think it's 2 to 3. I think you'll... you guys are 6th level, right?
Yeah.
To start with? Yes, yeah. You have 3 thirds. So you've used one of them.
Yeah.
That's what I wrote down.
Yeah.
You calling him a liar?
I ain't calling him a
Listen,
truther.
hey, sometimes between these sessions, counting is kind of like difficult to remember. Like, duh.
Sometimes during these sessions and throughout this entire campaign, you guys have accidentally cheated for your benefit or detriment the entire time with your hit
That's
points,
fair.
and then we find that out
Wait a
as you
second,
level
I
up to
have
level
3
6.
more
But that's
HP.
none of my business. These things happen.
How many of us realized we calculated our hit points wrong?
At least 3 of you. At least 3 of you. But that's not important. What matters is that we're having a good time.
And lost 10 hit points. No, I don't think it was quite that many, but it was pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just
So you
good to
guys
keep
are
in mind that
descending
we
down?
have 2 of those in our back pocket since it kind of saved our asses in the last fight. If there's like, you know, a myconid army of gloomstalkers down there or something, we might be helpful.
The only thing worse than mushrooms, invisible.
Invisible mushrooms.
A child.
A child. Yeah, so we have the light. Lala has dancing lights, so we can like illuminate the deep dark hole. So we're not jumping in blind.
I can cast light on my sword. As
Right. We have a light from candle, so we can. I guess I just want to make sure we have that lined up ahead of time before we jump in.
Okay.
Remember, if we can get within melee of the Gloomstalker, somebody hit him with a bag of chalk dust.
Pocket sand.
Yeah, so that way we can see him.
Okay. I do have a bag of chalk dust.
Fights like this are exactly why I gave everyone a bag of chalk dust.
Right. In case somebody mind controlled you and we had to kill them.
Yeah. Killed them, right?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Ready as we'll ever be.
ready as we'll ever be. We'll drop a rope down, and I guess
Same
first
as
we'll dancing lights down there to see if there's a bottom that we can.
Dancing
Yes,
lights
right.
out to like 30 feet in front of you or so.
Yeah.
You can tell that this is going to descend a little ways. Like I said, it's not like a hole that's a sheer drop straight down. Like it's a cascading pile of rubble that slants downward. But the putting dancing lights out in front of you and then the light extent of dancing lights beyond where it stands does not like reach the bottom of it or anything. You don't see a guy like squatting down there with his crossbow waiting for you or anything like that. Like it seems like it's got a little bit of a walk ahead of you at least. You
Okay.
can see some rocks kind of loosely tumbling along the path where this individual seems to have run through. And it seems like this gravel is it's a bit more gravelly. Like there's bigger chunks, but it does look like difficult terrain, rough terrain, a bit slippery footing.
We'll have Theogar take the lead. So if we're doing
Okay.
marching orders,
Do we want to try and remain quiet or just force?
they know we're coming.
Fair enough.
We get bum rush, bum rush, bum rush.
We have passed without trace. We don't have to always vote.
We have bright light against the Gloomstalker Ranger. They and it's Mike and they could have blind sight, for all we know. Like I'm not saying that all of our plans end up being bum rushes, but in this case, I believe.
I'm saying you have a scout. You probably ought to send Candle in there alone, and then later on go down to recover the body.
because Gloomstalkers have a great track record against this thing.
That way you can fight 2 Gloomstalkers when you get down there.
And I've only got 1 bag of chalk dust.
I'm here to fight Gloomstalkers and throw
No,
chalk
you
dust,
have.
and I've
you have
only got
2
1
bags.
bag of chalk dust.
You have 2 bags of chalk dust because I have a bag of chalk dust.
Most of you should have a bag.
we all have. We've never used it. It's in our emergency
Yeah.
packs. It's just.
Well, I wasn't using it. That's
So down into the hole you go. Theogar is going first.
Yes.
The
I'll
rest
go
of you are in
second.
some arbitrary order behind him.
I'll be
Correct.
behind.
So we kind of behind there.
I'll back
Okay.
him up.
All right.
Well, I wasn't using it is definitely one of our most used
Uh,
references.
As we're
It's
going
certainly
down,
currently this passageway is wide enough. It's not like a tight single file. Like this section up here is probably 20, 30 feet across. It seems to kind of narrow down as it goes down, but it doesn't get more narrow than like 15 feet across. So there's plenty of space for you guys to move. Clustered in whatever, if you want to be hit by the cone attack or the line attack, whichever you prefer.
Ooh, it's a good question. Cone
Or just the
attack.
plain old radius AoE. I don't know.
No, yeah. Well, that'll hit us either way. So I think I'll opt to get hit by the cone
Yeah.
attack.
Well, we should
Fair
do both. We can do both if we all walk in a 10-foot line column, right?
That's
So
true.
If we buddy up and walk, in a nice straight line, we can get hit by the cone, the line, and the radius.
there you go, yeah.
All of
This
right
is the
sides.
kind of efficient gameplay I like around this point. So you guys lining yourselves up in optimal position to get hit by AoE attacks, begin descending down into this
We're teaching them
Underdarker.
an important lesson about spacing.
I'm going to cast Armor of Agathis on myself as we're heading down.
Okay.
So,
Armor of Agathis is active. Anything else being cast? Do you have your sword lit up, Candle?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Sword is
Sounds
lit.
good. That sword is lit, yo. And you guys begin descending down into the darkness illuminating around you. It's a little bit of that, like, you know, the walls along the side of you keep it from being that unsettling, like, I look in both directions and the darkness is wider than the area of my light source. But in front and pretty quickly behind you is kind of that way. You can tell that this sort of collapsed down, and it sort of collapsed down into what looks like at least a semi-natural cavern. Something that sort of collapsed out from underneath a chunk of this, or that this broke through when it landed here from the surface. And moving along this, you can also, no checks or anything required since you guys have the light sources, you can see more of this kind of overgrowth and sort of kind of fungally vine along the walls of this place. It seems thicker here, and the air around you is much thicker with the kind of cloud of spores that's sort of ever present in this whole vicinity, to the point that you would be considered, all of you, lightly obscured currently because of the light kind of reflecting and refracting along all of these spores and mists that float around you. I assume everyone still has their masks on and isn't going to pull them off. If you choose to pull your mask off, I'm not saying that there's an effect, but just let me know, just in case. But it is thicker down here by a good amount.
I touch it with my hands.
You're touching it with all of you currently, and this stuff, it is worth saying, like, it's like as you move through, it's not like sticky and viscous and stuff all over you, but it's like little bits of spore and mist and kind of like dew definitely gathers along your arms and armor. It doesn't like burn or anything on any exposed skin. It doesn't like attach and dig into you. You can just kind of, it feels kind of just an ever-present like cold mist around you.
I
That's
use
kind
the
of
most
cloaked.
powerful spell in D&D. Prestidigitation to constantly clean myself.
And warm myself and flavor the air I'm breathing.
Right.
It's like those oxygen bars with your guys' respirators. So you guys continue to maneuver and move through this and descend down. Are you just? I assume you're kind of just going until something happens, or
we walk for about 10 minutes and then get spooked and leave.
You go in, and it doesn't take 10 minutes. It's probably 2 or 3 minutes of walking at a steady pace, not trying to be sneaky, before this cavern seems to kind of start to open and widen out. As you get to this portion of this, I would like, as it's starting to open out into that, anyone with nature proficiency can make a nature check. Or if, and it will be considered Underdark related, I think, here.
Sorry, I don't have proficiency in Underdarker.
You do? It's not your
It's not one
favorite
of my
terrain, just the
favorite terrain,
Underdark is?
Well, that's interesting. No matter what way you split it, it's a 16.
16. Looking at this, it's odd. You can tell that, now that you kind of are at the point where this opens out into the rest of this cavern, this opening seems less like a natural cavern and something between a like it's kind of reminiscent of two things you've seen before. One very familiar to you because of the Underdark, and one very familiar to you just because of your general knowledge of nature. With your general knowledge of nature, I guess not really general, we'll start with your Underdark knowledge, this looks less like a natural cavern, and with where it starts, it's almost more like a burrow hole. Like, it seems like something kind of created this. But it doesn't, there's not signs of claws, like scratching and stuff along the sides. The other thing that's reminiscent to you is, in your knowledge of nature, dealing with plants. This looks almost like the path that like a root has taken when you've rooted up a plant, the sort of branching pathway of a root in the past.
Wasn't there a whole thing earlier in this campaign about a weird root thing that made me just high as shit for like 12 hours or something?
Yeah, the
Now,
Something like that.
bloom
there's
in your
more
face
than
or
one
something?
kind of root thing in the world, but yes, that was something we dealt with earlier.
I seem to recall that thing burnt like a fuse, so we might have an easy way out of this if we need it.
I got. Well, I guess I got
and-
fireman, so.
You don't, like I said, there's still some of this vine and stuff up along here. You don't notice any like larger sections of it at this opening, but it definitely those two things stand out to you as a nature and Underdark knowledge boyo.
Yeah.
Are you going to enter into this cavern?
No.
You stand at the precipice of this widening out and opening up more.
I do have fire breath.
I mean, I think standing here at the entrance to the Mines of Moria is when we decide we make for the Pass of Rohan, and then
We go to Gondor.
Yeah.
Well, this is where we question how much your backstory is really worth it to us.
well, I'm forging ahead.
Yeah.
You may all stay here if you wish.
I think we should help Candle. Yeah, that's Thagar.
That's what Thagar says.
we should help him.
Thagar, always the hero.
I can use the force.
He's just looking for more tentacles to integrate into his area system.
Would he be mad or not if he came back and he had a second like fungal like lash tentacle?
You guys got him a new tendril growing off of him.
That was your loot.
The character would be mad. I think the player would be happy.
The player would probably find it hilarious.
So the group of you are kind of keeping a similar marching order and entering into this chamber.
Yep.
Yeah, let's help out.
This chamber is large enough that what's the radius on light?
Besides,
60?
uh,
For dancing lights?
Yeah.
Like the area of light it
regular
makes?
light might
Regular
just
light.
be
Oh, light. Oh.
30 and 30. Let
Yeah.
me check.
I believe it's 30 right. 30
20-foot radius and dim light for an additional 20
Yeah,
feet.
20. Okay.
So, as this opens out,
Bad year.
Come on, don't you want to find out
20
how
feet
badly
away, so
Vickelroy
a
screwed
total of
over his
40
last
from where
batch
you
of
are.
employees?
No.
At first, you can see the walls along the side of you, but as you enter and looking along the walls on the side of you, you can see some signs of other large holes similar to this set along the wall. As you enter in deeper, though, the ceiling disappears as it becomes high enough up. It's out of your 40 feet up in light, especially with this kind of ever-present mist about you. And the walls slowly get to where as you get deeper into this, all of a sudden the walls have disappeared out from beside you, and you're in what's essentially surrounded completely by darkness that has a kind of glow of hanging spores in the sky around
Would
in
you
the
say that
air.
the darkness is imprisoning us?
All that you see is absolute horror, so that's what I would say.
Cool.
Yeah.
If remember the way that we came,
No.
so we can beat a hasty retreat.
You know that a way out is behind you. If you've kind of walked as straight as you can with this disorienting situation.
Since I have declared
Bankruptcy.
Auto fire.
that's why I'm here. I declare auto fire.
You're not a warlock.
nor do I have Raiden's busted auto fire build that made Erickson go, we need to stop upgrading auto fire.
Get some help.
Yeah, fair enough.
You also don't have BG3 Null's machine gun Null ability.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. Broken, but cool.
So, I was gonna say, since I've declared this Gloomstalker as my target with my magic eye, wherever I have that written down,
You can track him.
I would like to see if I can find tracks.
Okay, go ahead and give me a survival.
Hey, it's a good thing I've got advantage because of my magic eye. Or I would have got us totally lost out here. That's a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. This figure, it's hard to see again. Like even with your special eye, this like glow all around you is obscuring what you're trying to see, even right in front of your face. But you can tell, you think that you're right on the track of this thing. It seems like this entity basically ran straight through this cavern, and you guys are kind of following that same path.
One way or another, whether we survive or not, we're getting answers.
So you guys are continuing to go deeper into this cavern?
I
Yeah.
think so.
Okay. So you guys continue, and you have like a track to follow here. But don't mind me getting my dice back. No reason for that. Or just keep all the dice out to you. As you guys descend deeper into this cavern, and again, it's like kind of completely surrounded by this glow. Something's going to happen.
Oh.
Initiative might be the word we're looking for.
Maybe it's something good.
Cakes fall
Yeah.
from the sky.
Yeah, but we can't take our masks off to eat them.
That's the trap.
This is the best looking
Gold.
thing I've ever seen, but
Gold
if I take my
everywhere.
mask off to eat it, I get infected by the spores.
I would like. No, there's no save. These are attack rolls.
I'll roll
So,
a save if you would like.
Dermir
Oh.
and Lala. Dermir, you will take
100 damage.
You did.
10 damage. And Lala, you will take 11 damage.
Why?
As you guys are moving through here, descending like rapidly from the sort of darkness cascading with this glow above, two large, dark, tendril-like roots swiftly kind of move down, wrap around, and crush into these two companions of yours, and they're both lifted up off the ground and disappear into the darkness at the extent of your guys' vision here.
Oh, shit.
And that'll be initiative from everybody.
Do we lose light?
Moving on.
You do not. Your light source currently is Candle Sword.
Okay.
So when I get taken,
Yeah.
Woo!
Then
All
we're
right.
fucked.
A good roll, but for what? Because I don't know if I can see anything.
I mean, mine's fine. It's extremely average.
That fire breath might come in handy.
I figured by the look on your face that it was probably really not good.
He's got.
Oh, did you roll for
plus
what's his
that.
face?
Oh,
He got a.
Yeah, it'd be me.
Okay, 20 plus.
oh,
Nobody?
Jerry.
Nope. Yeah, I did.
What is yours, Jerry?
It's a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Okay.
Technically 20 plus.
Don't you autocorrect me, you scumbag.
Ducking son of a.
That's a
duck.
very funny. It's a very funny autocorrect. I'll tell you about it later.
Once we know what these things are.
Once you know what the name of something is. 15 to 20
18.
for Axel.
Axel. Sorry, yeah.
Okay. Nobody else.
Not except
Okay.
the tendrils.
Uh-oh. 10 to 15.
11 for Theogar.
And 10 for Candle. Technically 10 to 15.
5 to 10.
9.
And Dermir bringing up the rear, as any good healer should.
I
All
didn't
right.
say my number.
What, any, 0 to 5, 0 to 5.
0.
Oh, jeez.
Hey,
I was gonna say 1 to 5, but then I was like, wait, it could be 0, because he's got a -1 to dex. I'm pretty sure.
technically, depending on how you build, how you're allowing your players to do their stats, you could have a -1 on your.
Technically. Even more, depending on
You would have
what
to be
other
a
debuffs
dumb
and stuff
son of
you
a
have,
bitch
because
to dump decks.
Yeah.
Fucking
In
5e.
5e, yeah.
Yeah, you'd have to be really stupid to have anything less than at least a 10 in dex. Am I right, guys?
Yeah, listen, an 8 is at least like it's not as bad as it could be, right? Like you could do even
Could be
worse.
worse. Could be worse.
You go with an 8. You've clearly made decisions
Decisions,
about like how you want to build your character, like stat wise, and what you want to do for armor and stuff. You drop it to a
Strategic
6.
decisions.
You drop it to a 6.
You're suicidal.
You're really pushing it Buddy,
really
you
pushing
need
you.
to rethink your life.
So, first things first. This is going to happen.
Also, be bad at some stat because it's way funnier. It's much more interesting.
Yeah.
Like Candle's kind of dumb.
Candle. A 15 misses you, right?
Yep.
How about a 15?
Yep.
That's
How about a 23?
Well, I'll let you decide that one.
This and an additional one of tease one of you. You will take 13 damage. As a flurry, you hear a rapid like of crossbow bolts. 2 fly wide, but the third and seemingly more potent of them makes contact.
Why do they get the null machine gun ability?
Because he's a Gloomstalker, he gets an extra attack.
Oh, first round of combat. That's a good point.
Exactly what you
This seems
observed.
unfair.
That's a good point. Man, Gloomstalker's really great when it's not me rolling the dice.
And as these bolts kind of fly in, you can tell that the direction they're coming from is dead ahead of you, but whoever fired them still seems to be outside of the area of that light, firing them towards you.
I'll rush in and force an epic one-on-one melee combat, which I will quickly lose because I have a few hit points remaining.
And after that individual, it will be Zeraxis.
All right. Did I by chance see where the? Well, no, because I'm
Fighting like the freaking grave mine.
You know the direction that the arrows came from. You know that they're the bolts. They were fired from directly in front of you, but you do
Yeah.
not
We always
know
fight like that.
how
We're
far
really
away
bad.
from, and you can't
Fighting
clearly
actually.
see the figure with where you are currently. It seems to be that figure is outside of the area of the light. Do you have dark vision?
I do.
Yeah. What's the range on your dark vision?
60.
60. So yeah, you can't see the individual even with your dark vision, especially in this like lightly obscured area all about you.
Okay. Oh, let's see here. Candle's still behind me, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Or you and Candle are probably about side by side with each other. Theogar's up at the front, then it's the two of you, and then it's the other three, so that you guys were in a perfect cone shape.
Right. We wanted to maximize our chance of getting hit by every possible type of area of effect spell.
Exactly.
We had the rare formation where Acid Splash is very effective.
Yes.
That's always the hard
okay.
one to get.
But I'm-
abilities that let you hit an adjacent target.
Hey, hey, Will, how many hit points do you have?
16. Not quite one. It's not quite that dire. I would have made much more dramatic noises if I got
One
dropped by one.
round of combat worth of HP.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that last round, you got hit for less than that amount.
Only because I only got hit once.
Did Theogar take damage in
He did
that
not.
hunt?
He's a
No.
void.
Theogar did not,
Yeah, to
but
get the damage
Thermir
bonus.
and Lala both did and were pulled away by roots into the darkness above.
Yeah.
You know what?
But we'll get to that on their turn.
Yep, done for
Hope you like.
I'm going to. Will, go ahead and add 15 hit points back because I'm going to use Lay on Hands,
I'm doing better
Nice.
than I was.
and then I'm going to move up afterwards, like next to Theogar, like to try and stay as much in this light as I can.
Okay, so you're gonna move up just like 5-10 feet to be like in the front line with Theogar, basically.
Exactly.
Okay, you two are up front in that line. After Zeraxis, it is Axel.
This is where we have to play a little guesswork on how we
Shit.
Find the central fungus root plant thing, burn it to the ground.
Oh yeah, that'd be great, wouldn't it?
This is where you
It's
have
over
your,
there somewhere, I
This is
assume.
where you gotta have your poker face and not say things like that, Matt.
I'm going to cast the classic Wall of Stone using Silent Image to try and block off line of sight for our front line, so that hopefully
Okay.
we can dissuade. We can lure our ranged attacker into trying to flank us, so that we can
Okay.
Get
Start to pinpoint. So you make a illusory. You pull your hands up, and an illusory wall appears in front of the two frontliners. How big of an area can minor image?
It's
make
not
a
my.
minor
It's
illusion.
Silent Image. So
Oh,
it's
Silent Image,
20
that's right.
feet, I believe. But let me
Okay.
double check real quick just before I'm cheating. But I believe it's
Silent Image.
okay.
15-foot cube.
15 foot. Excuse me.
So it's essentially 15 feet across, but it's right in front of your front line. There is a stone wall that
Right.
juts up seemingly from the ground below.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just to, we'll try for some AOE control, some control to keep the arrows from hitting the back line.
Yeah, definitely narrows the sight line.
And yeah, I don't really have a bonus action that I can do. Oh, can I control my Raven as a bonus action? Like just on my turn, can I have him like fly up to see if he can spot the tendrils that went out of our?
I think if it's a familiar, or if it acts like a familiar, I think it just shares your initiative.
Yeah,
and just
we've
kinda
been
have a
treating
turn.
it as a familiar.
Because you took
So
Pact of the Chain.
Yeah.
didn't you?
yeah, Pact of the Chain. So yeah, it is a familiar. Excuse me.
Yeah. So
Technically, you should have.
No,
two.
I took Pact. No, I took Pact of the.
he did tome.
Oh,
Yeah, 'cause I have ritual magic.
That's right.
I mean, no, I'm a wizard. Shut up.
Look,
He is
you
my
want to
familiar.
put your bird in harm's way again? He can go up there and scout for you.
Yeah.
There's a chance he gets got, but you never know.
Listen, then
this
I know
bird
the
will
bastard
go
that done
flying.
did it.
I think is it an action or a bonus action to look through his eyes, though? That's the question.
Yeah. Well, I don't know that it is. I don't know what the. It just says you can look through their eyes. I think it says an action, but I assume it's an action because that's what the other like spell effects that do the same thing would use. So I probably can't look through his eyes this turn, but he on his own initiative can try to find it.
Yeah.
What for flying around and using his dark vision.
At least with regular find familiar. it
You
is
can
an
see through the
action.
Raven's eyes and hear it hears while it is within. In combat, you roll initiative for the Raven to control how it acts. We'll just say it shares your initiative because that's easier. Just saying my creature get advantage on attack rolls for 24 hours. If engine dies, if you die,
Man, everybody just wandered off.
yeah. It just says that you can see you can hear what it hears and see what it sees while it is within 100 feet. It doesn't specify what you have to do that.
So I assume it's like a free action, just like splitting your
Here,
focus.
you can.
But,
I will say though, just to avoid it being necessarily like abusable, you can't look through both visions simultaneously.
Sure.
So
Yeah, it
you
does
will
blind
essentially
you,
like
yeah.
if you choose to you can cast your spell and then kind of blank your vision and look through its eyes, but you will be looking through its eyes until your next turn.
Sure.
That's not gonna give advantage on attacks against or anything, but it just means that you won't necessarily know what's going on around you while you're
Watch
looking through
yourself
its
get
eyes.
hacked from a third-person perspective.
Wait a second.
Hold on.
Uh,
Just
As
one
this and so
minute.
this bird shoots up into the sky, flying high up above you, and it doesn't get much higher than the range of that light before you are able to see a bit more of what's going on. As you get out of the area of that kind of light, another maybe 30 feet up above that, you can clearly see. It's not hard. No check is required, as you can tell that the ceiling of this has, going along the entire arching piece of it, a thick chunk of dark root with smaller roots kind of descending and hanging off of it. And at first glance, it just looks like a big root from a massively large tree. But as you look, you can see this kind of root slowly sort of gripping and moving along the ceiling up above you, and you can definitely see two of these tendrils that are holding your two friends tuck your two friends into two small openings inside the large stalk itself. And when I say a big, we're talking size category wise, this would be considered a gargantuan creature. This giant root up above you that's sort of writhing
Yikes.
along the ceiling.
Okay.
Like I said, God forever.
Yeah. It's looking a little
Nothing
rough.
could be done.
My pink lily showed up.
Yeah, that's the turn. I just wanted to get
All
a
right.
bird's eye view and provide some cover because I can't cast Shatter or Hold Person because he's invisible, the bastard. Man, these Gloomstalker guys, I tell you.
Those damn Gloomstalkers.
Who introduced those to this campaign?
That's the end of your turn. Then there's going to be some attacks. Does this thing acknowledge the fact that this bird has flown up there? Let's find out. Oh yeah, it has that. So it absolutely acknowledges that that's happening. Okay. All right. So one tendril is going to go for this bird that's flying up towards it.
He does not
The
have a high
second-
AC.
And I assume will hit, although it wasn't a great roll. I think that's only it's a 12.
I think his AC's a
But-
10. I don't think Ravens get much.
Yeah, I think
in the way.
it's just not much. Which will, like, as it kind of wraps around, it will crush, and your vision will snap back to your own as your bird gets crushed up above you, giving you advantage on your attack rolls against this thing. Worth noting. And the second tendril is going to descend down and is going to
his
try
AC is
and
12.
grab Candle.
He gets hit, but just barely.
Okay, so it's still
Does a 14 hit Candle?
No.
Okay, another one of these tendrils comes writhing down here, but you step to the side as it smashes and kind of cracks some of the earth next to you, and then kind of writhes and slithers back up towards the ceiling. From there, it will go to Theogar.
Yeah, I have the first.
He does have the force.
Theogar.
He is also a melee combatant in a combat all about kiting at this moment. All about ranged attacks. Yeah, he can do fuck all against ranged combatants. He has a longbow that he could theoretically fire into the darkness. I will have him hold his action so that he can swing in response to. Can he swing in response to a tentacle coming at it, like coming within his range?
Sure.
Like if
I'll
it
let you do
attacks
that.
like him or
If
someone next to him.
if he takes the ready action, it'll be one attack
Right.
that he can ready to swing at this thing if it comes down
Okay,
towards
then I'll
him.
have him use his movement to stand next to Candle, since that's where the last one attacked, and he'll ready to take a swipe at it if it comes at it, because he'll be able to
All right.
see it in the light and then hit it.
Totally.
Hopefully.
Yeah, that can totally happen. That's Theogar. After Theogar, it is Candle. I like how the two people got snatched up are the last two in the initiative. That's kind of feels
It's very
appropriate.
fitting. It's very fitting.
If I'm the source of light, I guess.
Yes, don't die. Especially because my source of dark vision got whacked.
Well, he can die as long as he drops his sword as it picks him up into the sky. You guys are fine.
I think I would like to. I would kind of like to move, I think, because on this first turn of combat I can move 40 feet. I would like to move 40 feet forward
Okay.
so that the rest of my allies are kind of at one edge of the light behind me. And that
Okay.
way I'm extending the light
focus.
as far forward as possible.
All right.
On the one hand, I think we need to deal with the enemy's ad, who's just picking us apart in the darkness. And I think if we can find whatever the heart of this thing is, we can we can set fire to it, even though two people are now inside of it. But yeah, so that's what I'm going to start doing is moving 40 feet forward.
Okay. You moving the 40 feet forward will bring the light source with you, that 40 feet, which will extend it 40 feet further along. And you will see at the edge of that light, apparating as it gets there, the silhouette of a figure kind of dropped down on one knee, holding the crossbow.
If I switch to my crossbow, we lose the source of light.
Well, you just
I mean,
don't
you could like
use
stick
it
your
off.
sword into the ground, and it would still be a light source next to you, and look cinematic AF.
Which is honestly just the better, reason.
Which is
Yeah.
the reason you do stuff like that.
Well, obviously, clearly, I use my bolt of drow slaying right now.
Of course.
Actually, what I use right now, although crossbows have the loading property, so I don't have crossbows.
You can only fire once.
I can only fire
Yeah.
once. But since I can't get up to him, that's probably my best bet. I think I'm gonna use a bolt of fire,
Okay.
not firebolt. A bolt of fire.
Different, legally distinct.
Which, if it hits, will do an extra D4 of fire damage.
All right.
I don't know if that will I don't know how you're gonna run that as far as it probably doesn't set him on fire necessarily, but it'd be nice to know where he is, but we'll start with that. 17 to hit.
17 to hit. Let me double check that. Will hit.
Nice. That's 8 damage and an extra 4 fire damage on top of it.
Okay. 8.
I'm not a huge fan of cheap versions.
I wish Rebellion Savage rolled that D4 would have exploded.
As you fire, it sort of does. As you fire this bolt, it kind of sticks into the shoulder of this entity, and you see that fire light and kind of spread across some of this vine growing along the side of him, and he winces and pulls away as it seems to be extra effective. The fire seems extra effective against him, and you can see part of it still burning and smoldering along his shoulder. You seem to have hit him with a tracer round.
If we can get it up high enough.
If what saves us over the course of this adventure is the gas masks, alchemist's fire, and bags of chalk dust that I bought everybody at the beginning of this game for their Underdark survival kits, that's going to feel so validating for Candle's questline. But I will let everybody know that whatever we're fighting is weak to fire.
Yeah.
Okay.
Allegedly.
Up next will be Lala. Lala, you are pulled into the air by this tendril kind of crushing against you, and as you get brought up and you see this massive tentacle along, or sort of root along the ceiling up above you, you're drawn right up to the side of it, and you can see that as you get close, it's lots of smaller vines kind of wrapping and coursing, almost like a randomly braided along massive rope of vine. And 2 of those kind of part and open, and this root sort of sticks you inside of that, and it starts to seal around you. You're not completely enclosed, but it kind of is wrapping and holding you, so you're kind of dangling out of this thing, and it's tightly holding against you. And at the start of your turn, smaller ones of these roots, seemingly with intent, writhe and twist around your head and start gripping at the sides of your mask. And I need a dexterity saving throw.
Oh god, oh god, oh Jesus.
As it seems like this root is intentionally taking your gas mask off.
I dropped it. I died somewhere. Oh, it's right there. It blended into the cup.
Gone forever. Belongs to the floor.
I know.
Dice for the floor gods.
Thanks for the floor gods.
That is a 22.
Finally rolled
As this
good.
kind of twirls and wraps and tries to grab your mask, you twist and turn and pull your face, and you're able to kind of rip away from it, and at least for this round, it is not able to peel your mask off of you. It is now your what you'd like to do. That doesn't use any action or anything, it's just at the start of your turn, this thing tries to do
She
that.
would like to remove her mask and do the thing.
What did you do? You lift it up just enough to breathe fire, and then when it spits you out 50 feet in the air, you levitate away with a slide whistle.
No, that is true.
I think I'm going to exactly do that.
What are you going to do?
Exactly that.
Okay.
She's going to use
So you're going to
fire breath.
pull up your mask
Yeah.
and breathe the fire?
Yeah.
Okay. So, couple things are going to happen. First of all, I'm
You have
going
to
to need
remember,
a
she's immune.
constitution.
She has resistance to fire damage for being a dragon. She's like, I'm fucking fine with it. Let's do it.
I would like a constitution saving throw from you immediately as your mask comes up.
There.
Constitution.
Only a +1 on this
Constitution. Nah.
one. A 7.
A 7. Immediately you have the poisoned condition, as even just pulling this up, these spores, again, almost like they have, the spores themselves have a level of intent, sort of funnel towards your mouth and nose, and immediately you feel sick and like just unwell, disoriented. You'll have the poison condition, which is disadvantage on attacks and ability checks. But with the mask up, you are able to breathe your fire. That's a dexterity save, I believe, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but the slide
it's a
whistle's
code.
much funnier.
It is much funnier, but I think a use item is an action, unfortunately. So you have to go.
The dexterity save from this thing is an 8.
That is a fail. So
This giant root that you are literally attached to cannot dodge your breath.
It's like, I've got you
roll
now,
your
and you're like, we'll see about
Is
that.
it? I don't remember if is it 2d6 or 3d6 or what is it?
2d6.
2d8. It might be 2d8 actually. I think it's 2d8.
Double check.
I think it's 3d6. I don't know if it goes up at level 5, but we'll find out.
It might go up a level.
I think it's 2d8 and it goes up later on because it's not the same. 3d6 is burning hands. That is 3d6. Oh no, it's 2d6 and then at 6th level becomes 3d6. So it is currently 3d6.
Nice. Roll that fire damage. Ooh, that had a lot of oomph to it. That was 7, 8. 8 fire damage.
8 fire damage. This 8 fire damage, you shoot this and it just like lights, like everyone even down here, you guys see like multiple of these strands just light and burn along the side of this thing, and it quickly like inflames for a second. It dwindles down. There's parts still smoldering, but it does seem to be extra effective against this. Which will do that number.
But most importantly, does it drop her?
More importantly, it does not drop her, but Theogar, excuse me, not Theogar, Dermir and Lala, you both will also take 8 points of fire damage, halved for you, Lala, because of your resistance. So Dermir, you take 8 points of fire damage, and Lala, you take 4.
It's like picking up a cat. You're like, ah, got you, and it just like sinks those claws in.
And it seems that it does not drop you. You are still grabbed by this thing. The fire seemed extra effective, but it seems to immediately spread along the entire length of this thing and also damage anybody who is inside of it.
Okay, good to know. Good to know. Just so
And
you
this
guys-
does, as this lights up, it's this crazy visual for you guys on the ground. As this root, you can see the root itself, the root of all evil, is like long enough that it's going back almost nearer to the entrance, and you can see it light and it kind of go all the way across in front of you and literally like descend down maybe another 40 feet in front of you down towards the ground, or not 40, probably more like 60 feet to 80 feet in front of you down towards the ground, back beyond where this individual with the crossbow is.
So if we can get close enough that way, I can huck an alchemist's fire at the root, where it's closer to the
At the root of all evil,
Take
of course.
fire damage. Ooh, anybody here have Create Bonfire?
I don't.
A mostly useless spell, but in this case would be quite useful because it stays.
It is one of my favorite spells.
Dermir, it is now your turn.
I'm held on to, like, how restrained am I?
You are restrained enough that any like melee attack you would try to make would be a disadvantage, or a ranged attack, obviously. But you're like wrapped up. You're not like cocooned up. Your arms are somewhat free, but these things are constantly twisting and writhing and trying to keep hold of you. So it's like a fight to move around. You cannot willingly move in a different direction. Your legs are bound, but you can move your arms around well enough that if you want, you can kind of swing at it or cast spells still if you would like to try. It doesn't prevent that.
I feel like if I do this, I'm going to go down, but it would release me, I think, if I succeed.
And I mean, just it's not necessarily a mechanical thing you guys know. You can try and escape from a grapple, which is what this essentially is, but it is an action to do so. If your goal is to just have this thing let you go, you can try and fight your way out of it. That will be fighting your way into dropping back down towards the ground. But you might have something to stop that. I don't know.
Would that be a strength thing or a dex thing?
It could be either.
Athletics or acrobatics to escape a grapple.
Technically, not that it matters. My spells.
Yeah, I'm
I won't.
gonna
Not
try
that it
to
matters.
muscle my
Nothing
way
I
out
have
of there.
requires this spell to be.
You're gonna what?
I'm gonna try to muscle my way out of there.
Okay. Just a reminder, you will drop a considerable distance if you get out.
Like a
You were pulled up.
distance.
A bit like a dice,
The-
almost.
Maybe not die
The-
instantly, but you will take it.
I have
The light source went out 40 feet, and you went past the light source. So you will fall at least 40 feet straight down towards the ground if you are let go from this thing. At least more than 40 feet.
Oh, what's the range on casting Feather? This could be. You might not escape this turn, but you might be able to escape next turn if Lala can cast Featherfall. And then you can muscle your way out.
between. Do I do daylight
60 feet.
just to so
How many rounds?
everybody can see what's going on?
Its duration is 1 minute.
Nice. Okay. So that could be viable. It's a bonus action cast, isn't it?
It's a reaction for feather.
A reaction. So
It'd be useless if you had to wait till your turn.
I guess that's true. It depends on how far the
Unless you're falling a really far distance, you will not get a turn while falling.
You know what? I'm gonna stay where I'm at, and just cast Cure Wounds on myself.
Outrageous.
Cure wounds, okay, fair enough. Go ahead and you can roll your heals. That'll be it for your turn. That's all you're gonna do.
Yeah, that's it.
Mushroom plant.
Okay. Back to the top. This entity, not liking that you've moved the light forward, will kind of, and patting at this fire, will take a couple steps back into the darkness, kind of getting away from this light source. But as it does so, you can still see a kind of smoldering, ashy area where the fire arrow hit its shoulder. So it's kind of more of like a half silhouette of this cloaked figure with the smoldering fire on its shoulder.
It's
And
like
you
the
can see
fairy
that shoulder
fire effect.
tense as the crossbow raises back up and two more bolts are coming at you, Candle. That will be a 13 on the first one,
That will miss.
which I assume misses, but a 21 on the second.
Yep.
And that will be for 11 damage.
He's winning this race of HP, fellas. or should I say, I'm winning this race of HP to the bottom.
You will get to 0 before he does. Haha, the fool. Zaraxis, it is your turn.
The right number. I wrote down
Okay.
how much damage I took. No, not
So he has essentially. Try to think here. How far is he from, from where I'm standing?
From where you are standing, he is approximately 70 to 80 feet away from you.
Hit him with a javelin.
I don't have a javelin.
I'm just whatever range.
I
that
do
is.
have.
You got a cantrip.
I do got a cantrip.
two-hand
I'll
overhand
move.
claymore.
I'll move up 30 feet. So that puts me like 40 to 50 feet.
And he is, so you'll stop this because of that fire arrow. He's not going to be in darkness from you, so no disadvantage from
Okay.
that. He'd be about 45. He'd be about 45 feet away from you. He literally
Alright.
just took one step back, so he wasn't in the dim light, but is still illuminated enough to be visible.
All right. Well, I'm gonna cast. This is probably gonna be counterproductive, but I'm going to cast Ray of Frost
Okay.
on him. Because if this hits, this also stops him from moving very far. Or at
Definitely,
least,
it's a minus 10-foot movement speed.
yeah.
So
Yep.
that which he has been trying to use mobility to his advantage quite a bit against you guys.
Yep. So.
Just wait till I hit him with hold person, then he'll see.
Yeah. So. All right. Here we go. Big money. Big money. No whammy. No whammy. No whammy. Does a 19 Get it.
A 19 hits.
Yay!
And since you are above 5th level, it'll be 2d8
D8.
cold damage, I believe.
Yes, sir.
It's alright, we didn't miss anything important.
That is 11 cold damage.
11 cold damage. You don't get a great view of him to know, like, to necessarily know this. Candle, you have a slightly better view, but both of you can tell, like, as it hits, it doesn't seem to be ineffective. It doesn't, like, hit and, like, ride up him like the fire did. It seems to be normally effective. He seems to be reactive in a way where he seems to have been hurt by that frost bolt striking against him. Is that your turn?
Yeah.
All right, Axel, you are up.
Okay. I will, I guess well, I'll move up, so that it sounds like if I move, he'll be within range of Eldritch Blast, right? Because Eldritch Blast has, like, bonkers fucking range.
I think it's 120 feet or something like that.
Let me check what the, I know it can have extended range, so let me double
He
check.
should be within range anyway.
Yeah, I think currently both him and the tree are within
Yeah,
range.
God, it's
Him and the
120
root.
feet raw.
Yeah.
God, Eldritch Blast is so totally worth
So-
selling your soul.
So both him and the tree is also smoldering enough now that you guys can see a silhouette of it up above you. You can't necessarily tell where your friends are, but both him and the root up above you, the root of all evil, are within range and visible enough you can make a non-disadvantaged attack against it.
Oh, okay. So he's got 2, soon to be 3, because Theogar can't do jack shit to the root. So I'll split my damage and attack the root of all evil
Okay.
with my Eldritch Blast, hoping that it
All right.
releases my friends. Also, I have advantage on him too because he killed my fucking bird.
I have advantage to hit this big fucking tree.
Crit.
Crit hits.
So that's 3D, 2d10, 2d10.
2d10.
Yeah, because it doesn't stack that way.
2d10 plus your charisma mod, I believe.
Plus my charisma mod because I was tired of fucking around. Like I need some fucking damage. A 9 and an 8 is 17. Plus my charisma modifier, which is gigantic, which is 21 damage
21.
on the
21
first hit.
damage.
Oop. That dropped directly into
fine.
Johnson's tree. That was pretty funny. That one is not a crit, but it is oh god, 26 to hit.
26 definitely hit. Roll damage.
For another 12 damage.
12 damage.
Axel's
Good
decided
hit.
he's done fucking
Yeah,
around.
like it's time to blast.
I've been hanging out in the Underdark,
So anyway,
just in the
I
background,
spotted
just
Eldritch
sort of
Blast.
screwing around, not taking anything seriously. I've decided I've had enough.
Yeah, it definitely looks like that, where I'm just like fired in the air.
Those of you currently trapped by this thing, you can hear like little laser noises, and this thing definitely like kind of writhes and tightens and moves as it gets hit by these 2 blasts. They seem to be fully effective against it. Is that your turn, X?
That is the turn.
Okay. We got a couple of roots of all evil coming at you.
No. Not at me.
Um,
personally.
After that,
I've just had
I
a song.
mean,
I've had a Stone Metal song called "Root of All Evil" stuck in my head ever since he started saying that. So. And
one
every
is
time he says
coming
"Root of All
at
Evil,"
Axel,
the chorus just
and one is coming at Candle.
You
So the
want
one
me.
coming at Axel
well, the one coming at
is
Candle, Theogar can
Oh,
swing at.
that's true. Theogar has
Well,
his
is,
But the one's coming
A-
in first.
but that's only a 12 against Axel.
I'm quick on my feet in my studded leather armor.
The one against Candle is a 16.
That will hit.
Oh, but
That will
Theogar
hit.
gets to take a swing at it.
Yep. Theogar gets to make a roll.
That is a 24 to hit.
24 hits.
Yeah, his great sword.
His isn't a great sword. His is
hang on.
warhammer.
No. Jocelyn's thing was in the long warhammer.
Yeah, he's got a like his own magic warhammer.
Yeah, so 1d8
Yeah.
plus 7. Good lord. Look
He has
at the
dueling
size of
fighting
it.
style. Maybe.
Uh,
No, it's a +1. It's a +1 weapon, and he has
Yeah.
the dueling fighting style.
Yeah.
I think.
listen. I'm not here to counteract his math. I'm just.
Does he need a D8?
I need a D8. Thank you. That rolls a 7. Good lord. 14 damage, Reno.
14.
From the
It
magical
seems to
warhammer?
be, as you smack with this, the bludgeoning damage does seem to be less effective than you would hope as it hits against this thing,
That's fair.
even though it is magical.
Yeah.
Candle, you will take 13 damage as this root crushes around you, and you are pulled up into the sky
Thanks for
and
leaving your
tucked
sword
inside
down.
of the large.
It's a good thing I stuck my sword in it once. I could use the crossbow.
Your sword is leaving behind the sword stuck in the ground to the light for everybody else. You are pulled up into the root.
I would like
and are
to
wrapped in
absolutely
sense.
like to make a dramatic bird squawk as I'm pulled into the sky, presumably with just leaving a puff of feathers behind.
Right.
Absolutely. And after that, that is its turn. It will go to Theogar. That's you, Medigi.
Sorry. Yeah. It took my brain a second there to be like, wait a second. Yeah,
I
Theogar,
am
get it.
Theogar.
Theogar doesn't have any ranged damage. The buffoon.
He's got a longbow he sucks with, right?
Yeah, he does have a longbow. Alright. He'll take a pot shot at our Gloomstalker friend.
Okay.
Slash
It's worth saying
enemy.
that he will not have the AC bonus of his shield for this turn if you do that. We're pretty loose on
Yeah.
the exchanging weapons deal, but I'm gonna say he can put the shield up, put the weapon up, and draw the bow out, but he can't then put the bow back and draw both of those out at the end of his turn.
That's
so
fair.
he kind of has to choose which item set to have equipped.
That's all right.
So he'll have
18
a lesser
AC
AC,
will have to do.
but he can make the range attack.
Yeah, he'll have to get that damage in while he still can.
That's his mentality, right? That's all he does.
How's a 17 do on the old?
A 17 will just hit, I believe. Oh, wait, on the thing up above you or the guy out in front?
The guy out in front.
That will hit.
Okay. So that will do 6 piercing damage,
6 piercing damage.
and then his multi attack is more.
Okay. More
Higher
still
number.
will definitely hit.
And that will do another 5.
Okay. He takes 5 more.
And yeah, now he stands there with the longbow that he's like, shit, why don't I use this more often? Granted, I think literally the rest of the party has range damage of some kind, so it's you probably just get a chance to use it. But
Candle, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw as this tries to peel your mask off.
I can't wait to take a bunch of damage on this turn. Before I get to take my turn. 15 is my dex saving throw.
15. You are able to keep this thing from peeling your mask off.
Nice.
he's not used to things fighting back. It's
Stop it, you stupid little bird.
it's like trying to get your dog to take a pill. You're just like, get, come here.
Yeah.
Give me a minute.
Oh yeah. If this thing was coating its spores in craft singles, it would be way more effective.
That's what we're talking about. The cake falls from the sky. We're like, oh no, we can't eat the cake with our masks on.
I had that conversation with my dad once about how before Freya passed, when we were giving her medicine, I was putting one of her pills in a craft single, and I was like, no dog can resist a craft single. And my dad was like, I can't resist a craft single. And I just froze and kind of looked around. I was like, why do you think you never have to take any medicine? It was implying that we've just been giving my dad pills.
You've been drugging him. That's amazing.
What do I want to do with my turn? I think I might just... Well, now see, the question is, I don't think I have the hit points to survive the fall afterwards.
Could you hold your action so that when Jocelyn casts Featherfall on everyone, Well, I guess if you do, then she can reaction cast Featherfall on the group, so that.
I mean,
I think she can only target actively falling creatures.
I don't
I don't think
any of us can. We can't. None of us can really see each other,
Oh,
and
that's
we
the
don't
real
have
problem.
any
Yeah.
like method of sort of communicating that that's the plan.
That's true. Might be a
Yeah.
little meta.
And
meta.
maybe
It's up to
this is the
5
moment.
falling creatures within range.
Maybe this is the
Technically,
moment that
if
candle.
he fell, she could react as he entered into the light, where she could see him. Therefore, that would be within range because range is far enough for that. That would be only casting it on him.
Yeah, it would be active
With a reaction.
But I mean, if it's the difference between your friend splatting on the ground and burning a spell slot, I think you can.
And burning a first level spell slot, I mean,
I'm a
even
bird.
trade, baby.
Maybe this will be when I figure out how to fly.
Listen, you never know.
Would you like to try and escape this grapple?
Does this thing count as an aberration?
It does not.
Not that it matters.
Do you have anything special against plants?
My favorite enemy is plant. I hate plants.
That would be pretty funny.
I hate plants. They grow everywhere. Not like you.
They grow everywhere. I think what I'm probably just going to do is maybe just take 2 swings at this thing with my short sword.
Okay, they will be at disadvantage because you're grappled.
Okay.
You're
My
restrained.
dice are slowly being taken one by one.
Mine, all mine.
Critical fail on the first one.
Okay.
Do you want me to roll a second?
Roll me d20 plus your strength. We'll call it the strength save if you have the proficiency. Strength save.
11.
It's awfully close.
DC on this? DC. 11? Okay, yeah, no. You kind of try and stick this thing in, and one of these things kind of coils around your wrist, grips it, and as it pulls and your hand kind of slides off, it pulls the sword out with it, and it goes tumbling towards the ground.
Hi.
Uh, 1 second, I have to make a roll. A very unlikely roll to happen, but I still have to make it.
Uh-oh.
Who'd I hit?
Can I? Sorry, everybody at home.
Yeah,
Motion sickness incoming.
Oh my god.
Oh, the crack and roll. Oh, I missed the crack and roll. Oh, good times.
That happened.
Something truly
Well, so let's see.
astounding.
How many targets does it have? It's got me. It's got Theogar. It's got Zaraxis, and it's got
The Gloomstalker.
the Gloomstalker.
It's got the gloom
So you
stalker.
gotta roll assign a number and roll.
It's you.
Fuck.
Blast. Ninja dodge a loop. Hit by a sword.
I don't even.
It still has to make it. It has to roll the attack. It still has to roll the attack. Yeah, that's enough.
Okay.
I don't even think that.
It would be
I don't
fucking
even think
hilarious.
Erickson
It's a
rolled to
mundane short
actually.
sword, right?
Yeah. Yep. It's just a regular.
I'm gonna say its strength modifier is going to be +1 per 10 feet it falls.
Oh, great.
So this will be 9 damage as you're standing here. A short sword just kind of falls right into your side from the roof up above you.
God damn it.
The old Kraken roll. I was like, there's no chance, but there's a chance.
There's
1 in
such-
100.
Good old crack and rolls. They happen way too often. The number of times they happen is statistically unlikely. Ow. Well, for my second attack, let's try that again. A dagger.
Okay, you pull out a dagger and stick up into this.
I'm
thing.
not.
Roll
Look,
it.
I'm not dumb enough to use an alchemist's fire up here. What do I look like? You crazy
Just
bitch?
crack it over your head.
Yeah. Use alchemist fire as a melee weapon.
What are you,
Take
crazy
the-
Ben?
Take this, you damn dirty flower.
That one's. That's an 18 with the dagger.
18 will hit.
6 damage.
6 damage. The piercing also seems to be less effective against this.
You need slashing or fire.
I'm carving my initials into the stupid tree before I die.
Candle was here.
Yeah, exactly. And it's all misspelled. The next guy.
So the
gets-
next time, the next time
adventurer
somebody gets
sucked up
killed
into
by
this
this,
tree,
it's
and
easier.
it just says "Candle was here" carved into the.
That's Candle. Lala, I need another dexterity save as this thing tries to peel your mask off.
Is she still poisoned?
Listen,
She is still poisoned.
does
Yeah.
poison
You were
affect-
able to mask back down
Dex
after
save?
breathing fire,
Yeah.
but the poison effect is still in effect.
Does poison affect dex saves?
It doesn't affect saving throws, I believe. Just attack rolls and ability checks.
So 17.
17. You are good. It does not take your mask off. What you gonna do?
So you can try to acrobatics your way out and then feather fall yourself. You can cast a spell. You can try to stab it with your. Ooh, you could cast enhance ability on yourself and make it easier to bust your way out. Theoretically.
Attack rolls and ability checks. Yep.
Yeah, you don't have any spells that are super helpful here.
I cast enhance ability.
Is that an action though?
Dex, I assume. Let's pull it up. Spells that we barely ever use.
I assume we barely ever use it.
They're great. Enhance ability is honestly one of my favorite spells because I love a good out of combat utility spell, and it as
It
a
is
spell
one
like,
action.
oh, we're about to go talk to people. Just so you could do it this turn, but then it would be not until next turn that you could make your check to try and escape.
Will it still last until next turn?
Yeah, as long as you maintain concentration. I
It
think.
also
up to an
doesn't.
hour.
It also doesn't take damage from falling. Or that's the
All right.
dexterity. You need the strength.
No,
You're-
dexterity should be good, right? Because
That's
she
my
can
turn.
acrobatics her way out of a grapple, right?
You can strength or dexterity your way out of
Yes.
this.
So if you do the cat's grace, you don't take falling damage from falling 20 feet or less, unless you're incapacitated. In which case, you
I
still
would
just take
count that as a reduction in the damage you would take.
Oh.
It would be like you were falling from 20 feet less of a height.
Well, clearly what you need if you're about to fall is Eagle's Splendor.
Eagles.
It's advantage on charisma checks, which is very funny.
So are you trying to get yourself out of this, or are
Yeah.
you doing? Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead and roll me an acrobatics or athletics check.
Try to summon your evil.
So you get +9 to this. You are slippery.
Slippery little guy.
These are slippery lizards.
Where'd your
Jeez.
D20 go?
Slippery.
Yeah, that'll do. 18?
18 is enough to get out. You kind of twist and writhe and squeeze out of the side of this
Excuse
thing.
me. That was actually a 25. Sorry. I
Then
misread.
absolutely
Yeah,
you
no,
have
I just-
enough to get out of there.
I just realized I did that
Um,
wrong, and I was like, wait, no.
And you immediately will fall a great distance. Are you going to, as reaction, cast Feather Fall? on yourself?
Yes.
Okay. Gently drifting. So as you go, this is Axel's like, pew, pew. The sword comes tumbling down and sticks in. You go, ah, and then Lala comes gracefully floating down and lands next to you.
These two things are not related.
Well, I recognize your short sword.
It's worth saying you don't have your reaction for this round if you were going to do something with it, but that means if somebody else decides to fall before your next turn, you can't cast Feather Fall on them.
That is true.
But who cares?
Well,
You're okay, so that's what matters.
yeah.
Dermir,
I'm very selfish, so that's.
you are
fine.
still in this tree.
Yeah.
Root. The root of all evil.
You know what? I'm gonna risk it for the biscuit, and I'm gonna cast inflict wounds.
Oh, nice.
Okay. Is that an attack roll or a save?
It's an attack roll.
I believe it is. A melee
Yeah,
like
I
a
believe
touch
it- Yeah,
attack.
it's a melee attack roll.
It's so dumb though that you couldn't hit them with inflict wounds. Like you have disadvantage on inflict wounds because it's just like I touch you with my inflict wounds. Like
It is going to be disadvantage. It's more so like you reach up with this glowing hand and like vines are wrapping around your wrist and trying to stop you, basically.
Fair.
So there'll be a disadvantage on this attack, but you can totally cast that spell on this.
How do I know what the attack?
Your spell attack modifier should be on your spell page on the third one here. It'll be
Okay, so
efficiency plus wisdom score.
Are you casting this at a higher level, or?
it's just a d20 plus 5.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yep.
But you have to roll 2 and take the worst of the 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I'll even cast it at second level.
Okay, so it's 4d10 if it hits.
Some hefty damage, or could potentially hefty damage.
That is some potentially hefty damage right there.
Okay. Hey, they were the same roll. 15.
15 on the dot, no more, no less.
That one more, no
just hits.
Nice.
Just hits. Good roll.
He rolled.
Roll your
Wait,
damage.
So on disadvantage, he rolled 2 10s, which is it's not statistically
Average?
unlikely. It's just interesting.
Well, I rolled on advantage.
I
I
am
rolled 214.
Fear me.
24.
Middle of the road, but
24
when
damage.
your max is 40,
But your minimum's 4.
it's 4. That is true.
And the necrotic damage seems fully effective against this thing,
Nice.
Sweet.
as it kind of wilts and withers around where your hand grips into this root.
Inflict wounds. How I love you.
A mighty spell. That is Dermir. Then it's back to the top. Crossbowman has lost his target. Target acquired. He will fire at. There's Theogar and there's Zaraxis. They both hit him last turn. He's not seen either of you do anything to do with light. Not that that's a part of their decision-making process. But
the
I think
barbarian. He
he
has
will
light.
go for. We'll let the dice decide that it's Zaraxis. It's Theogar.
Oh,
That's
No.
unlike the dice. Usually they hate the demon boy.
I know, right? They hate me for some reason. What the hell?
dice are racist.
So the
Jerry.
first one against Theogar is a 20 even,
That will hit.
Having been
and the second one is a crit.
targeted by the dice.
Wait, doesn't he
in
have,
a
like,
lot of
adamantium or something?
campaigns,
He doesn't have adamantine. He can react, reduce the damage with his psionic shit.
yeah, that is true.
Yeah, let's do that thing that I know how to do. It's a D.
I think it's a D8.
Psionic die is a D8. He has 68, so I can reduce it by 1
I think so. Well, a D8 plus.
with intelligence.
I think so, because I think there's a minimum he can. The
One
the
moment.
protective field.
Protective field.
Plus intelligence mod.
Yeah. I really thought he'd misspelled aliens here, but he wrote a lens, and I was like, oh, that's right.
A lens.
Lens. No. So the first arrow or first bolt will hit him. Is he doing it on the first one or the second?
The second one.
Okay. The first one hits for 10 damage,
Okay.
and then the second one. Go ahead and tell me how much it's reduced by.
So minus
This is
7.
the critical. -7. With -7, that will be 13 damage on the second.
Oh. You're making me miss playing a rogue, where I can just choose to take half damage from an attack.
It saves you sometimes.
Damage, yeah.
It helps a little bit, a lot of times.
Then it is Zaraxis' turn.
He didn't move. Crossbow guy, right?
He did not. So I believe he is currently. You moved up 30. He was 45 away from you on your last turn. So yeah, 45. He's 45 feet away.
Yeah, I'll go up and move. I'll move up full again.
Okay.
But I'm still not within swinging distance of him, right?
Not quite. 15 feet away.
Well, then I will once again cast Ray of Frost.
Roll it.
And 18.
18 hits.
Okay.
We're doing much better in this fight than we did in the last one against this guy.
Right?
So far.
That he's 10 damage.
10 damage. He takes 10 damage. And his movement is reduced. And then it is Axel's turn.
Fuck, shit.
I'm gonna kill that stupid bird.
Where is he? I start blasting.
Oh, he's not aiming for the tree anymore.
Listen, you're still getting, when I say candle stabbed me, it still counts. shooting at the tree. Pop, pop. That is a 20 stuff. 24.
20 stuff will hit.
24 hits. 2d10. No, 1d10. 1d10.
1d10.
Sorry.
1d10.
That's- It's you get more projectiles, not
More
more
beats,
damage. Yeah.
Just better.
With blessing and a
Just so much better.
It is a lot better. That is 9 damage, Reno, on the
Okay.
first one. And another fucking crit. I rolled a 20 and a 19 on this one. Ooh, feels
Bam.
good. Ooh, feels
Crit
good.
hit.
Can't stop
Crit
it.
hit.
He's
Hit.
pissed.
Stop me
He's
now.
pissed.
Because I'm blasting a big root. Blasting
How's
a
a
big
how's a
root.
straight 20 damage to the dome feel, Root of all evil?
Powerful hit against this thing.
This is where it's revealed that
Threads
it's like
and stuff are dangling and kind of dropping off of this thing. It seems well past whatever bloodied would be for this.
I was gonna say, this is where it's revealed that it's basically like a Myconid elder god. It like doesn't even like register that it's causing any kind of damage. It's just like I've lost a 1/1000th of my HP. What?
What's going on?
What's going on? I guess it's time to use 2% of my power on whatever that threat is.
Squish, yeah. The whole thing just comes down and squishes me.
All right. That is Axel. It is the tree's turn. I speak for the trees, and the trees say, "Stop blasting me with your energy, little wizard man."
You gotta
so,
catch me first.
There will be. Get back here, you. He was having fun. There's going to be one coming at Lala and one coming at Axel. The one coming at Lala is a 20 to hit.
That will hit.
The one coming at Axel is a 26 to hit. Lala, that will be 12 damage. As you are grabbed and pulled and tucked back into this thing.
Oh.
And
Well.
Candle, or excuse me, Axel, that will be 13 damage.
Still alive, but I'm barely.
As you are grabbed and pulled and tucked inside of this thing.
On the plus side, I can't hit you with a sword anymore.
On the way up, I
He can
shoot
drop his
Candle
dagger
a
on
dirty
you
glare.
All right.
But if at this point, if I smash a flask of alchemist's fire,
Right.
Theogar's turn.
Theogar, he's gonna do things that he can do. He'll move up 30 feet towards the badman, and
Okay.
he will launch an arrow at him, because that's a thing he can do.
All right.
He's
That's what
like
he can do.
Candle, but he's a bad guy.
Evil Candle.
That's
Bad
a miss.
guy.
That's not
Okay.
gonna hit. And the second one, 18 on the die.
That'll
So,
hit.
That'll hit. And he'll do a D8 plus 2, closing in on this motherfucker. 7 damage.
7 damage. He takes 7.
This is where it's
All
revealed
right.
that I could have like psionic strike with a ranged attack or something.
I don't know if you can with the ranged ones. Maybe you could have. I don't know. He wants his character to be optimal. He better show up and play it. That's my opinion. After that,
It is a guarantee that if somebody else here has to play your character, they
Candle.
will play them at best half as well. They might roll better.
Candle, you're up. Unless they're playing for you, Will, then they will roll so much better that.
They'll be way more effective in combat just by making basic melee attacks.
Candle, it is your turn. What you gonna do?
Do not alchemist file. You will kill Lala.
I'll probably kill myself as well, actually, if I alchemist fire. Or if I use a firebolt from point blank it with the crossbow with a firebolt. So I think all I can really do is look. Oh, do I have to make another save at the beginning of my turn?
Yes. Sorry. Dexterity save at the beginning of your turn. Thank you. Appreciate your honesty.
You're welcome. Critical failure.
Honesty is rewarded by this thing peeling your mask off. I need a Constitution saving.
Man, honesty is the worst policy.
I'm cheating.
That's it. I'm only cheating from now on. That's not a great Constitution save. It's an 8.
8. You are immediately poisoned.
Cool. Well, it can't.
But that's it for now.
It can't provide any more disadvantage to these 2 dagger attacks that I'm about to make. Look, if I wrestle my way free of this thing, I fall and lose and potentially die because I have 7 hit points. If I stay here, I potentially die because I have 7 hit points. But I might as well stay here and get some damage in while I still can.
I'll get that damage in while you still can.
Wow. For disadvantage, that's a really good roll. That's a 22.
22. That will hit.
6 piercing damage.
Okay, it will take half of that.
That is more what I expected. That's an 11.
An 11 will not hit.
Cool. That's all I got.
All right, that was Candle. Lala, your turn. You are back inside of this thing.
Dex save.
If you want, oh yeah, start dex save to see if it can, although you are already poisoned, which actually makes this much more important, this dex save.
I told myself
I
I'd never
could
be.
die. I'm not gonna lie.
I told myself I'd never be back on the inside.
Oh. Oh no.
It's not good. It's a 9.
It's a 9 total.
Yeah.
Okay. As this thing writhes and twists around, it peels off your mask, and seemingly sensing the fact that the poison effect has already taken root, the roots kind of wrapped around you, twist you around, and one of these roots kind of has that you see kind of twist and writhe around, has almost like a fat flower on the end of it, and it shoots a jet of kind of noxious cloud into your face, and I need a Constitution saving throw.
Oh no.
Roll good on this one. A 10?
It's better.
10 will fail.
Oh.
And here's where it all came crashing down.
Oh, don't worry. You'll have company soon. I assume, being me. 'Cause I've lost
You
my
will
gas
take
mask.
26 poison damage.
Done.
I'm
Down.
Down.
down. I'm
Okay,
She had 2 HP.
2 HP. That's not your whole into the negative, so you're not insta-killed. But as this kind of peels those of you maybe nearby this thing peels her mask off, twists her around, and jets this poison cloud into her face, and you see her just like cough, sputter, reach, and then just go limp as this thing kind of pulls her deeper inside of the roots.
Uh-oh.
Oh, she's gonna get brainwashed, and we're gonna have
Ermir,
to...
it is your turn.
I'm gonna inflict them wounds again.
Hell yeah.
All right, give me a disadvantaged attack with the inflict wounds.
Okay. 11.
11 will miss, unfortunately.
Guess I'll just
Oof.
sit here then.
Can
So
you
I guess I'll
bonus
just
action? No, 'cause
die.
you cast a spell. Never
Your
mind.
your spell slot is expended as you try and cast the
He
spell,
needs
but
to make a
your
save
hand
on his
away.
turn as well, right?
Huh?
He needs to make a save on his turn, right?
Oh yeah, dex save on your turn as well.
I've never
See if
made
you-
one. I just figured it liked me more.
Oh no, I just forget to say it because I'm bouncing a lot of mechanics in my head. So a dex save for you as well.
If I'm going down, I'm taking some of you with me.
If I don't get disadvantage on these if I have a negative, right?
No.
No, you just have the negative modifier to it.
14.
14 is enough.
Hey, he's
Wow.
juking, he's
the,
jiving.
The little slow, non-dexterous dwarf man dodged better than the fast ranger birdman. That was Dermir back to the top with shadowy figure. 2 more bolts are going to come at Theogar. That is a 25
Ooh,
and a 20.
both will hit.
Their dice are showing up at the nearing the end of this encounter. Is he going to be reducing either of these?
He will be, because he has all these psionic die, and fuck if I'm
The
gonna
first
use
or
it.
the second? They're the same
The
roll.
first.
Okay.
We'll reduce it by 11.
By 11. With a reduction of 11, it will deal 0 damage.
Hey, the second one.
The second one, which you rolled higher on, will be 14 damage.
Yikes. I think this is the most damage Theogar's taken ever.
He put his shield away. That'll teach him.
But both of those would have hit even if he had his shield out.
That's that's beside the point. Look, you gotta get that damage.
Does
while you still
one
can.
does one immunity hit you? How about
Zaraxis,
one
it is
immunity
your
and
turn
one?
after that.
You idiot! You put your shield.
Yay! Now I can finally get in swinging distance of this.
You
dude,
are.
right?
You can get to melee range of this man.
All right. I'm gonna swing at him with my claymore.
Roll it.
Roll it,
Big money,
roll
big
it,
money,
roll
big
it,
money,
roll it.
big money, big money, big money, big money. Crit!
No
Hell
way.
yeah. Yeah.
No way. Get real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I say, having crit twice.
Roll it.
So is that an extra D6?
That's with a claymore. That'll be 4d6 that you roll.
All right, I'll roll the first two. Okay, I get to re-roll those.
Oh, because great weapon fighting style or whatever.
Yep.
Ones and twos, get out of here.
Okay, so that's a 9 on the first one,
Okay.
and then on the first two. And
First
then
two
last,
dice.
Yeah, the last two die. That's another 9, so 18.
So 18 plus what's your strength mod?
21. So it's 21.
21.
damage.
All right. He is still up, but as you slash across him, he stumbles back a little bit and seems to be barely hanging on. You do have multi-attack.
Then I shall swing again.
Roll it.
That's a 19
19 hits.
for. No, hang on. 14 damage.
14. He goes down.
Nice. We got him, boys. Hooray, we say, getting strangled by like the... Hey, how are we gonna get down? Lala's unconscious. She had the feather fall.
No,
How are you going to get down? Really hard.
Yeah.
Really hard.
I am going down this combat one way or another.
That thing's Rax's turn. Axel, you are up.
All right. So here's an interesting proposition. Being plant matter, how does shatter interact with this being?
Oh no.
Well, I don't think it's
You-
going to be all that capable of dodging the shatter.
It's not going, it is a living creature still, so it's not going to do like additional damage, but thunder damage will probably be fully effective against it.
Shatter.
I mean, I've got the spell slot.
Burning a hole in your spell book.
Oh, what's this in my pocket? A spell slot.
Oh, what's this in the pocket? An explosion!
I just need to do some math real quick to see if it's actually going to be more effective on a single target than just hitting with 2 Eldritch Blasts. 3d8 thunder, or I guess 4d8 thunder.
I mean,
would be...
It's guaranteed damage because even if it saves, it'll take half, whereas you could technically miss, and you will have disadvantage on
Yeah.
your Eldritch Blast while you're trapped here.
That is
which will be
true.
straight rolls because you have advantage.
Yeah, I'll
Um,
shatter.
So,
I ain't a coward.
is that con save?
It is a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. Surprisingly, this thing not that crazy good at these. It's better at these than it is at dex saves. 12.
Fail.
All
So
right.
it will take 4d8. So I just
Because you have to
what I got.
upcast it with your wizard spell.
wizard spell slots. 12. 15 Thunderino damage.
As you're sitting here writhing and twisting this thing, you're like, what's this in my pocket? An explosion! And you lob it up, and you kind of aim for up above where it's going to be away from where your friends, I assume, are kind of trapped on the bottom side of this. And a cacophonous echoes through the chamber as this explosion kind of happens. This thing lurches where a chunk of some like rubble and stuff falls around it as it explodes near the top of this massive chamber. As it does, the coils around all of you guys tense really tight for a second and then loosen as this thing releases itself from the ceiling and violently comes crashing down towards the ground. Here's where we play a fun little game. It's called, if you're on the ground, get out of the way, and if you're up inside of this thing, good luck. So, those of you who are on the ground,
I killed the
and
boss
punched.
monster. That's what we need to remember.
I've decided that this is not a fair game based off of the name of it.
Well, your enemy died, so I mean he lost the game already. So I would like dexterity saving throws from anybody on the ground. That'll be Zeraxis and Theogar, I believe.
The only two.
The only two who aren't inside of this thing.
Come on, please. Please.
That's a fiver from the whole thing. All right?
Fiver from Theogar.
We're just determined
that's
to
a
wipe out
nine.
the whole part.
A 9 from you. Okay.
Axel got it! As they stand there, like fist pumping. And the tree
Well, they went to the Prometheus school of running away from things. So they were running like down the
Straight line down the lake.
And I roll high too. This damage is brutal. Okay, for the two of you on the ground, you will both take 25 bludgeoning damage as this lands on you.
So
Theogar goes down.
Are we?
Unless he can
Those
reduce
of
it.
us falling. Are we taking that amount?
I
plus
would say he could
falling?
reaction
Okay.
do that. It's been his turn since the last time he did that, right? Yeah. So
7. So he reduces it
Thank
by
God for-
10.
So,
and so he'll take 15 instead.
Yeah.
15
I just-
exacxies.
So he's down to 0 even with
throws
it.
up his psychic shield and it's still.
I just want this to be like the boss is already dead, but due to Armor of Agathis, that boss would have taken 5 cold damage if it was
And you are, I assume you're still up after that, right? You
Oh
go
yeah,
down there.
I think that's
because
the only
I hadn't
damage
taken
he's taken.
I hadn't taken any damage in this entire
Good.
encounter.
You're on health patrol duty. You're on your health potion.
Yeah.
I gotta.
Too bad he used all of his lay on hands already.
That damage plus fall
But he's got
damage,
spell
we'll
slots.
see how
I
the
assume
math
there'll be
works
some
out.
Yeah,
stuff.
I got aid.
Those of you that are
Prayer of healing.
conscious inside of this root, it will unravel as you come dropping down. You tell me what you'd like to try and do. You have some. It's like a split-second reaction sort of thing. You could try. This thing is no longer grabbing hold of you. You could try to kick away from it so it doesn't land on you. You could try to ride it down, try and crawl up the side of it to maybe make it absorb some of the blow for you. You have different options for what you can try and do here. Describe to me what it is you'd like to try and do, and we'll see how it goes for you.
I'm unconscious.
Lala, sorry.
To be honest, Erickson, what I would like to do is roll an intelligence save to see if Candle's even capable of, in this split second, of being like, here's my plan. Because I think he's like, because I'm not entirely sure he would be, but
Go for it. If you feel like that's appropriate, you can roll that.
I just,
That's up to you.
like,
I'm not requiring it, but it's up to you. It's even unless you roll incredibly well, you are falling between 60 and 70 feet with a giant thing falling beside you. It's not going to go well for all of you, but it could go better depending on how you react.
I think I'm gonna roll an save here to see if, like, just how much Candle's going to, like, react here, because, like, he was just, like, grappled by this thing and, like, fighting with a dagger. Like,
Okay.
this happens kind of suddenly. It's not great. It's a total of a 2.
So Candle's plan is
Candle's plan is probably flap his arms like a bird and see if he can fly.
all right. It does not work. What is
Unfortunately,
actually?
I used my last spell slot to blow this thing up, so I don't have a spell slot for Misty Step.
But that would have been cool though. You
It
blow
would
up
have
and
been
then
it would have been
teleport to
rad
the
as
ground.
fuck.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, only 2 spell slots, and I used the last one in the last fight. In the previous fight. Ironically, 2 Misty Step in order to get close enough to the need. Yeah, you can't pull the same. Well, I could pull. I don't have time for an action to use my Pearl of Power, which once again I should have done before this fight, so that I would have the extra spell slot for this fight, so I didn't die horribly right now.
It's you as you're falling. It's
Yeah.
like Gollum with the ring, where you're
Yeah.
like, as you're falling, you're like, pearl of power. And you like pull it out and look at it, and then hit the ground. And then it ripples.
Yeah.
Ground,
Yeah,
and the
that's
tree
exactly
falls.
what would happen if I was trying to.
You die with your spell slot.
Yeah. It's mostly, this is like recriminations of myself as we're falling, of like, if I fucking done this
Fuck, I
earlier,
thought I
I
had-
could have just teleported. So instead I will try to like, throw myself, like kick out as hard as I can to try to like parkour roll on the ground, which
Okay,
we'll
me
see.
we'll call that acrobatics to try and tumble away from this
Swing
thing.
on a vine to safety.
Yeah. No fucking way. That's another crit.
Another
That's
crit.
a
Okay.
third crit in this session. Holy, Axel's on fire. I don't know what he was smoking.
No, that's impossible. You can't crit. What are you talking about?
Why don't you use those
Uh,
buddy?
You will take only 9 damage as this
I'm up.
thing, as you're coming collapsing down, you kick off from the side of this thing, and your shoulder catches hard, but you tumble, and you kind of tumble off, bouncing off your shoulder and land on your feet. Like you absolutely have to pop your shoulder back into place, but
That's
it's
incredible.
remarkably graceful, and this thing does not land on you.
That is incredible to take 9 damage
From
both
that
from
height.
that height and from that thing trying to crush you.
That
With
was
a critical success. Like I said, even if you roll really well, it's still not going to be fun for you, but that was, you managed to
That
tumble
is
away
astounding.
is immensely graceful.
I'm so glad at least somebody who plays this game regularly has good luck.
It's insane.
Because really cool things happen when you roll.
I never get this lucky.
Dermir.
I'm dying next session. Like it's
You've blown your load here. Dermir, what are you doing?
I think I'm just gonna like maybe try to climb on top of a vine so that the vine hits the ground
Absorb some of it.
and absorbs.
Give me an athletics to make that climb.
you do have some
Uh,
strength.
15.
15. Okay. You will take 13 damage as the vine will absorb some of the damage from beneath you.
I'm down.
Okay, go down. Axel.
We already went over Axel.
I had I parkoured my way to victory.
I'm not rolling as high against you at least, so I don't know if it'll. I mean, I think you're pretty low, so it's probably not. Doesn't matter. It's 19 damage.
Just from the fall?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm down from 19.
Okay.
I don't get hit by the root.
The 19 is you landing with this thing on top.
These are this isn't all in one.
This is simultaneous. This is one instance of damage.
Right.
However, for the sake of saving your life, it will be harder to do that with you trapped inside of and underneath this thing.
Okay.
So that is something for everyone to take into account in your order of operations for trying to save friends.
Right.
Lala, you will take a failed death saving throw as you hit the ground. What's your total HP, just so I make sure this doesn't kill you outright?
39.
I mean, let me check. So not too far off, but it does not kill you outright. You'll just take a failed death saving throw.
Sounds good.
But we aren't. Oh, that's not it. We're not done yet because there's people bleeding out.
Yeah, people are bleeding
so
out.
A lot of people are bleeding.
1,
that
2,
is
3, 4.
going to be actual. So Theogar will make a death saving throw. I will roll it for him because, well, I guess you can if you want to be. Do you not want to be responsible
You can
for
do it.
this?
I'd rather
Yeah.
I'd rather have plausible denial.
First one is a 13, which is a success, but not a lucky. It's kind of a foreboding number.
Hey.
So one success for Theogar. Candle will be next.
Oh, I'm next.
Yes.
Yeah, because of where in initiative I blew this thing up. Everyone's gonna get a roll before we can do anything.
Okay.
That's a fail.
Okay.
I was gonna keep it secret.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
Lala.
I could just tell by the way you said it.
That's also fair.
We've been playing this game together for a long time.
And you know what, Axel, I'm also going to give you, not that you're the one who really needs this, I'm going to give you an inspiration for your triple crit
that
real
is,
deal scratch.
A second fail for Lala.
Okay.
50-50 shot at the crit at this point.
Right?
That's Lala. Dermir, I need a death saving throw.
failure.
It's gonna get
One
spicy.
fail. It's gonna get spicy. Okay. Xeraxis.
All right. Can I see okay? Can I see them or not?
You can see a downed Dermir. You cannot see Theogar, Candle, or Lala. You'll have to try and dig into the branch to find. It's not necessarily an action to do that, but it'll be a check in order to find them. You know roughly where they are by watching this thing fall, but you don't have an exact location of any of those three. So you can guaranteed get to Dermir, but you cannot guaranteed get to either of the other three. There's a chance.
If you get to me, I can heal everybody. Maybe.
That is true.
Does mass healing work like a?
You have to see them.
Do I have to see them?
I assume so, but I do not know.
You have to target them, I
Or is it
believe
like a
so.
zone or something?
Yeah, it's not.
It might be any number of creatures in range. Is it greater healing word or normal healing word?
greater.
It's mass healer
Yeah,
word.
mass.
Mass healing.
That you
Yes.
can see within range.
Yeah.
That you can see within range. So nope.
So we'd have to go digging for them. This is a
It's a tricky
doozy.
situation.
Well, if you get me up, I can still heal a lot of people. So
True.
that's what.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do.
This is where Skler reveals he doesn't have any spells on the dirt. He's just being a dickhead.
He uses like third level spell on that mist, inflict wounds.
He stands up, uses his last first level spell slot to cast Cure Wounds on himself.
Flips everyone the middle finger and
Like a
leaves.
true dwarf.
Okay, so how are we playing? It's gonna be an action to go digging for them or to find them.
I would
Be a
say you
check.
can dig for them as a bonus action.
Okay.
But if you don't find them, then you won't be. You can't get within range of where you'll dig for one of them and get to Dermir. So if you fail to find them, you can't give a potion to Dermir. It's kind of
What?
one or the other. You have to go for one or the other.
Well, joke's on you. That I'm rigging the system. How far away from Dermir am I?
Dermir's wrote this tentacle down. I'd say that since you could get to him with 30 feet of movement. He's probably
Okay.
about that away from you, though. So you could get up to the root or up to him.
Okay. I'm going to. So if I get up to the root, is he out of range at that point? Like,
Or
is he,
anything that you have to be in touch range to give. Yeah, you can't feed a potion or healing or whatever paladin hands, lay on hands.
Well, I don't have lay
I'm
on
not
hands.
sure.
I do have. I did pick up prayer of healing.
Okay,
That's
So-
I think prayer healing
Cast.
takes 10 minutes to cast. I think that's an out of combat healing spell.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Let's
okay.
find
Yeah.
out.
If I'm
I believe
remembering.
you're right.
It healed like everybody for 2d8, I think.
Casting
Yeah,
time 10
but-
minutes. 2d8 plus spell
Yeah, it's
casting.
10-minute casting time.
So good idea, but unfortunately, everyone.
That's
would be
more
dead.
for like after a fight or in between fights. You can top people up with it when you have that 10 minutes respite.
Yeah, it is a super good spell, but just not quite for this.
Great out of combat heal. For
Yeah.
a second level spell, getting that much healing across multiple people is very efficient, but it takes time.
Yeah. Well, never mind then. That just throws a whole monkey's wrench in my plan.
Yeah, you've got a trolley problem. He's like, you can try to save someone who's buried, or you can get Jeremir up, and that's kind of your dilemma.
Party healer up.
Slur is discovering what it's like to be a support mage more. Hey,
You have the guaranteed get up or the chance at it with the other guys.
Yeah, I'll go pick up Dormir.
So you're gonna force feed him a potion.
Yeah.
All right, Dermir heal 2d4 plus 2, and Xeraxis mark a potion off of your inventory.
I roll the 2d4?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Back to where it was.
like you never
All
even
right.
got hit by that root.
And Dermir is up.
Or no.
No, you're Up as in.
That was Rexus.
Alive.
Axel.
All right. I will go digging in the rubble for a friend. Let's see who I find.
You can give me a. It's up to you. You can give me either a survival, a perception, or an investigation.
Survival.
It's looking for signs in different ways, but I would let any of the three of those work.
It will be investigation on this one.
Are you trying to find someone in particular?
No, just any
Just
of them.
whoever you come up to.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
meta, I'd go after Lala. But
Because you do have a rough idea of where they each are, so you can say that you're intentionally trying to go for somebody if you'd
well,
like.
I guess I would have seen Lala go unconscious before the. Okay, I'm gonna meta a little bit and go after Lala, so she has 2 failed
Yeah.
saves.
I don't think that that's meta. I mean, you saw her go down before, so you think that she's more critical to try and save. I think that that's a reasonable
That's a 14.
logic. 14. Let me roll something back here with her for how difficult it will be to find her in particular. With a 14, you are able to find Lala.
Okay, I will feed her one of my health potions.
Side question.
Okay. hmm
Did my sword that was casting light land under the tree root?
Well,
It shattered.
if you went unconscious, we would
Well, the light
have lost.
still shines.
Oh.
He's not dead, so the light will still shine. But is it under the root? Let's find out. How are you feeling luck-wise? Odd or even?
Oh,
Even Steven.
Okay. It's even. So we'll say it landed near the edge and got knocked out, so there is still light for the people outside.
because
of
I
the
was
room.
going to say that will affect them being able to find me because it'll be like, check
Yes.
this cavity.
That would have been.
He's not in here.
It would have been disadvantage on the check he just made, and I would have made him re-roll it. So he has light. So Lala gets that amount of hit points back.
Hooray.
That
dragon
was
is
Axel's
saved.
turn. Theogar.
Yep. Right mission.
Is that just a death save
oh.
from Theogar?
That's a death save. I'll roll it for him, so you don't have to roll death saves for friends. That's a 5, so 1 failure.
Friends don't let. Well, I was gonna say friends don't let friends roll death saves, but
We roll
Friends
a lot.
don't let
We roll
friends
a lot.
roll their death saves. So Theogar has 1 success, 1 failure. Candle.
it wasn't a crit fail. I'm not immediately dead.
He's not quite dead. Lala, it is your turn.
Oh. Am I?
Do you have any healing potions on you? Or do you have like healing bird or something?
Let me look at this stuff.
Healing bird.
Healing bird?
Healing bird with healing word.
Yeah, unfortunately, I used my last health potion to get Lala up, so it's gonna be old first aid checks for me.
I used a healing potion way early in this campaign and just never bought another one, so
That'll learn you.
that'll learn me. Look, for some reason, this party never buys healing potions. So many D&D parties have like 30 health potions
100.
split around the whole party, and we got lucky. We're lucky if we have one somewhere in the party.
I feel like Zeraxis has like 8 of them. I feel like Zeraxis has bought a lot of healing
I don't
potions
got
over
no
the course of this.
potions, so
You can help find.
You might be muted, Jerry.
If you guys can find people, then I can do.
Yeah, I don't hear Jerry. I don't know.
Gah. I have 5 left, I said.
Okay. Lala, what you doing?
I guess I'm gonna try to find Candle.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me an investigation, a perception, or a survival.
She's not great at any of those. Investigation will be your
Let's
best
see
bet.
how hidden Will's body. That's cocked. Okay.
What was it?
Fine.
An 8.
You do not find Candle's body. Dermir.
It is what it is.
I've been rolling like shit.
Trust me, you don't have to.
From my
You don't
understanding
need
of my
to tell anybody about rolling like a hidden. I totally understand.
from my understanding of my surroundings, would casting light actually help find people, or
You have enough light in the vicinity that wasting your action doing that is probably not going to help you more. You don't have currently have a disadvantage. I'd say if you go to where one of them are and cast light right there, I would maybe give you an advantage on your check, but not until your next turn.
What
So
if I cast
you'd be
daylight?
prolonging, huh?
What if I cast daylight?
Similarly, it would make it much easier to find them probably, but it would be waiting until your next turn to have a chance to do.
If you guess daylight, it's like a flashbang going off. It blinds everybody for 2 turns, and they can't.
Okay, so we're missing Theogar and Candle, right?
Oh.
Yeah.
Everybody else is up.
Yes, Theogar and Candle are still both under the tendril, under the root of all evil.
Hey,
or at
whether
least
I-
the root of a great deal of evil.
The thing with light is, even if I die under here, my sword will continue to glow for the next hour.
There you go.
Neat.
It'll,
I thought it would be sad and dramatic if it went out when I failed my next death save, but instead it will just keep glowing.
Instead, it'll provide false hope that you're still alive.
I'll just
So what you
go
doing, Dermir?
look for anybody. Either one.
Okay, you don't care? Candle or Theogar?
Well, anybody at 2 death saves?
Candle does, allegedly.
Your 2 fails?
He's not saying. He wants to be dramatic.
Oh, he wants to be dramatic.
I'll never tell.
Fine, I'll go look for Candle.
Well, you also
Roll
wouldn't- you just you the characters wouldn't know that.
That's true. Yeah, I'll just look for whoever.
Okay, I'll roll randomly to determine. Will still be even, because that's what he picked last time. That's what he's got to live with. Okay,
So you get investigation, survival.
go ahead and roll me an investigation, perception, or persuasion. Perception.
Persuasion.
Oh, body, please come
Perception's
out.
probably your
If
highest.
it's-
Perception,
or
investigation, or survival.
Perception's probably your highest, because you don't have height yet, I don't think.
He gives such
no,
a
I do
rousing
have-
speech that the bodies of the dead get up to come listen to it. Do you remember that talk? Was that in our 2-player Baldur's Gate game where I was doing a performance and a dead goblin came back to life to walk over and listen and like throw down a coin?
Threw a coin and then died again.
That's good. That's good shit.
What's the roll?
9.
You do not find. Well, actually, I do need to determine how, because you weren't looking for Candle, you were looking for Theogar. I will determine how hidden Theogar's body is. You do not find Theogar.
He's 6
That's
feet under.
Dermir. Back to here.
Yeah, we're looking under totally the wrong route for Theogar.
Okay.
Any bonus actions I can do? Just helpful.
I think that kind of was your bonus action, the search, I think.
The search is the bonus action. Zeraxis.
Any
Uh,
actions I can
Well,
hit my
if he's looking for
warhammer.
Theogar, I will look for Candle.
Okay.
It's perception.
Perception or investigation or survival.
Alright. I'll go with survival because
Alright.
I have an actual point in that. 11.
11, no more, no less.
No more, no less.
You do not find Candle with an 11.
I
Damn.
was gonna say, if an 11 finds me, I'm kind of impressed. That was easier to find than I thought I would be.
Yeah, you're not much harder to find than that, but you're harder enough to find that he does not find you there. That's Zeraxis. Axel.
Alright, investigation. Let's see, I'll go after Candle, I guess.
Mr. Hot Dice over here couldn't
Hot
fail,
dice.
right?
Hot dice.
I know, right?
Watch out. That's 16.
16 does find Candle.
Alright,
You see a feather poking out of one
Yeah.
section of these.
I pull him out like this, and I go, I don't have any healing potions left. So I'll use my action to try and do a medicine check to stabilize him.
Okay. Roll the medicine check.
Don't you die on me, you dumb bird!
You big dumb. You don't have any medicine. I got, like, as part of it, I'm looking through his pockets. I'm like, she doesn't have any medicine.
I don't have any potions. He doesn't have any potions. Slap. CPR.
I don't think an 11 stabilizes without a healing.
It is a
check.
15 to
Yeah.
stabilize with a medicine check.
Don't you die on me, you dumb bird!
That's Axel.
Shaking by
Theogar.
the color. Was that a candle that I heard?
That's a Theogar
Oh,
first.
Theogar.
Okay. That's one more success for Theogar, so 2 success, 1 fail. And then it is a moment of truth. Candle has a die to
I
roll.
wish Brandon's Cthulhu D20 was here.
Or the DM die.
Or the DM die. I would totally roll the DM die on this one. Oh. Nice.
Okay. He's not quite dead.
But I'm also not quite
That's narrow.
stabilized
God,
yet.
that's narrow. Okay, Lala, it is your turn.
All right. So we have Candle up, but we just don't have any healing potions for him. So you can try to find Theogar.
If you find Thagar, then I can use
Well,
Mass Healing.
well, if once it gets back to my turn, I could get Candle up because I
Right.
have potions.
But if you can find Theogar, then we can get them both up and safe in one turn.
Alright,
So
I'm gonna try to wrong die.
I roll a D10. What's that?
Two, my god.
Oh no, she doesn't find shit.
Okay, she don't see shit. Dermir,
I guess I'll look for Thagar.
roll
Since
it.
it's a bonus action, if you
Hey,
find him,
Grimes.
you can get them both up.
17.
Oh,
17, no more, no less.
No more, no less.
Threshold, you hit the number on the head you needed. His body was harder to find.
Wow.
You pull
well,
out.
he did get hit directly by the.
He was standing directly in the middle of where it landed, essentially. You are able to drag his body out of there.
And I can see Candle. I know where he is.
Yeah, I'm holding
Yes.
him like he's fucking. Yeah.
Mass Healing Word, I guess.
There you
Okay. Mass Healing
gets
Word
used
can
to.
affect up to 6 creatures, so I assume, unless you'd like to target the strange crossbow-wielding gentleman who shot at you, it's going to be to only your friends.
Yeah, only my friends.
Okay. Everybody heal 1d4 plus his wisdom modifier.
Roll it.
Oh, I'm rolling it?
Yeah, it's your stuff.
Oh, yeah. Max heals,
4 plus.
which is 4 plus 2, 6.
Everybody gets 6 hit points worth of healing.
Yay.
Back up to 8 HP, baby. I'm double a commoner at this point.
I could take on 2 cones.
I can fight 2 well, now with the action economy, how it is.
This action economy's a chance.
That was Dermir's turn. I assume that's the end of Dermir's turn, right?
Yep. Yes. Oh, we still have. I guess we could try to stabilize Crossbow Man if he's not under the influence.
Zaraxis, it is your turn.
So everybody's back.
Everybody's up.
or-
All your friends are up currently.
Currently.
Yeah, barely. We got.
So another one shows up.
Yeah. I'm gonna go. Well, because everybody's stabilized now,
Mostly.
emotionally.
Just go digging around in the tree room, see if there's anybody else in there.
Yeah, might as well. Why not?
Okay. Go ahead and roll me one of those rolls. Survival, I think is what you rolled last time.
Yeah, maybe there's some cool shit. You know, maybe we'll get lucky.
A knife.
No!
Oh, dude, it's a knife.
That's
That's
a knife.
a knife.
Ooh, it's a blue knife.
It's that's a crit. Do I
A
find
crit?
a blue knife?
You find a dagger stuck in one of these tendrils with a sapphire in its pommel.
Nice.
It looks like it's nice. Doesn't seem magical, but looks like a nicely crafted dagger.
All right.
It's
Is
a
it blue?
knife. And it is
It's a-
blue.
Oh, dude, I'm totally taking that.
You got blue knife. Axel.
I'll go wander towards Mushroom Man,
Okay.
our Gloomstalker friend. I'm like, who the
Roll
fuck
me a
was this
medicine
guy?
check. This isn't necessarily to get him up. This is just to evaluate him.
Yeah, I just want to
Medicine.
Please, yeah, medicine check.
Oh, medicine check. Sorry. I am no doctor, but holy shit, this guy's still alive. A medicine of oh, that's Theogar. I'm smarter than that. 17.
They are shallow, they are quick, but there are slight breaths coming from him still. He's not quite dead.
He's not quite dead. Hey, is this one of your buddies? I guess I'm using a free action to speak and get info.
I'm assuming this is Gritch, right?
You can't really tell from where you are, but if you'd like to, on your turn, walk over to him, you can get a better look.
He can assume his gender, sir.
Yeah.
That's his God-given right.
In the meantime, can I use an action to like tie up his hands with rope?
Sure.
Oh.
You tie up his hands with rope.
Grabs.
A wild Grimes appears. That's Theogar's turn. Ooh, woo, 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 woo. It's me, Theogar. I sit here doing nothing. Candle, it's your turn.
I would like to run over, and if it is Gritch, I think I'm just going to cast Cure Wounds on him.
Okay, you run over and you pull up the limp but slightly breathing body of what looks like what's left of your dear old friend Gritch.
Let's see if any of his mind is left. If not, I'm afraid we're going to have to put him down, which will...
Be traumatizing.
Yes.
Make
I will totally do it. Just give me the word.
No, it has
Just
it
don't
has to be
fuck up his head. I can cast Speak with Dead and we get some answers out of him.
That is 9 hit points.
Oh, good.
9 hit points goes back to this
I think
entity.
he's better off than
Immediately
the rest
stabs
of
you.
us.
No. As you cast this on him, it will take us out of initiative, because things. Interesting. I'd forgot that I did that. Well, I need to share something with you guys. Maybe on camera, maybe after. Maybe we'll do it on camera because it's funny. He will, while he's like lying there, you know, like you kind of cast this and it kind of like, and he kind of cough, and a like kind of cloud of some spores comes out of his mouth as he does so.
Is the air clearing up around here?
It's settling. It seems to be kind of settling towards the ground and being less animate and floating around. It is still toxic and awful around here, and you'll probably want to dig your mask out of the root before you leave. But as he kind of gasps, he doesn't seem to come awake. He seems to be stable. His wounds seem to seal enough that he's not actively dying, but he still seems to be in a somewhat catatonic state. And with that, that is where we are going to call this episode of Skygate. It's already been a long one because D&D combats. Something of note for everybody. I think he did this on purpose. Theogar, better known as Matthew Costigan, decided to make math easy for himself and gave the boss the extra 10 hit points he needed to pull 2 more of you up inside of him before he was killed. Even though he was not here.
That's the second time.
How did he do that?
That's the second time he's made math easy for himself and almost killed my character.
I would like you all to know that extra bit of hit points, I had the +1 bad boost in parentheses Costigan's fault on this. That was used for some extra hit points for this gnarly tree man, and that nearly got more extras of you guys killed. So if you want to yell at him, feel free.
On the upside, I did get to do my cool crit acrobatics check because I did get crit.
That was
So,
pretty
like,
hardcore. We'll go ahead and call it there. Thank you everybody for watching, and we will see you in the next episode of Skygate.